Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video we are going to be using up some bits and pieces that I've got just lying around in my craft room. So let me know in the comment section down below, do you have stuff that you just don't ever use, that you don't think you're ever going to use, and that is just sat there taking up sort of valuable space? So I have a bunch of stuff. I also have a lot of stuff which I got from my nan's craft room as well, and one of that is these card bases here. So I've decided we're just going to use them and we're going to pair them with some of these topper sheets as well from Hunky Dory. So this is really going to get rid of, like, hopefully going to get rid of some of these products that I've just had lying around. So I was just planning to use these and just make regular cards, but then I found these in a drawer, and these are, so this is a pack of 4 8x8 stepper card blanks with envelopes, I think. I'm pretty sure that is an envelope back there, I'm not sure yet. So we are gonna be using these up, and then I picked out, I have these, so my lighting's gonna be a little bit funny with these. So I've got a few of these. I went through a phase of buying these from Hunky Dory. These are the like toppers, like the mix and match luxury toppers. So we've got this one here, is as bright as can be, and we've, you know, I've obviously made cards from them, and I just have these bits left over. I've got a patterned paper back there. This is all really lovely, like rose gold foiling here. So this is the Rose Gold Moments Fabulous Finishes collection. So yeah, we've got some papers in there to use up. This I bought, so if you join the Hunky Dory website as a member, I don't think it costs anything, you can get free members gifts, and I have not so much this year, maybe last year, I can't remember, I've bought a couple of them where you get like topper packs and you know, paper packs and things like that. You can get more included in the pack, but I think it's about £10 and you get it for free. I think you just pay for shipping. So this is like a love bug one. I'm not sure that I've still got like the packaging for this, but we've got some papers in here. We have got the decorative papers, and we've got quite a few toppers in there as well. This one here, this is the Llama Love Luxury Topper Sheet. I had 2 of these. I think I bought 2 of them. And so out of the second sheet, these are the bits. So I think, again, literally I made like 1 card with these, and that was it. Because there's no papers, I'm going to pair this with a little bit of patterned paper and a little bit of yellow as well. So yeah, my camera is super dark. I think it's to do with the packaging and that. So let's start off to begin with. Let's do the flamingo one. I think we're going to do it first. So I'm going to get all of the bits out of here. I'm going to get the card bases out and see exactly what it is that we need to cut up. So these are the bits that we have left from this first pack. Absolutely gorgeous papers. This is so beautiful with those flowers down the side and then that texture. We've got just a little bit of scraps left, so we might not end up using those. We've got this lovely big topper which do have, so with the Hunky Dory toppers, they have sort of your main topper piece and you've got that lovely foiling on there, and then they usually come with 2 frames that you can pull apart from each other. We've then got this circle topper which is lovely. We've got this one, Stand Tall and Dream Big. We have a fabulous birthday which we can use. We've got this one, Be As Bright As You Can Be, Sent With Love. We've got just this sort of random frame here which we might be able to make use of, and then we've got these 2 strips here as well. So lots to kind of work with. I'm glad we've got this big elements left over. Okay, so these are our card bases. So yeah, we do have envelopes to go with these as well, which is fab. I'm going to chuck those out of the way, and so let's pull in our first card. So again, this is 8x8, so I never really make 8x8 sized cards, certainly not a stepper like this. This is absolutely gigantic. So the first thing I'm wondering really is whether we've got enough patterned paper here. So we certainly don't have enough to go on there. What I am hoping though is we might have enough to cover the back, to then chop this down, use that piece on the front, and we can either leave this inside flap here, either we can leave it white, or maybe we can cover it with a little bit of pattern, plain paper, sorry. So what I'm going to do first of all is cut this piece down. So I'm going to need my big trimmer for this. So we're going to do little mats, and we're not adding any extra cardstock into this point. So we want to do 7 3/4 inches square. And then this front piece here is 4 inches. So what I'm hoping is, yes, so we're going to be able to do this 3 3/4 again by 7 3/4. So I think I'm just going to do a piece of this ballet pink cardstock, and the same again, 3 3/4 by 7 3/4. So let's pop that to the side just in case we want to use any more bits actually on the card. So let's pop this piece in first. So again, this is going to go in there. So we're going to grab some liquid glue and we're going to get that stuck down. So we're going to have this piece down here, and then we're going to have that piece where then those 2 pieces are going to mirror each other. So I want to make sure that those 2 kind of line up perfectly. So yeah, I think that is looking absolutely stunning, just with that real big kind of showstopper card here. So again, that's why I'm really, really glad that we actually have these large toppers, which is going to fill this up nicely. So let's just step it out a little bit. So I don't want to have it kind of too far coming forward, but I'm thinking that we could put that piece on the front there. And I think, to be honest, I'm just going to leave it all together. I think some foam tape in that would be really lovely, but yeah, I don't want to make it so it's not sturdy. I'm just going to go around and just trim off these little tag bits where it still stays connected on the paper, just because that'll give it a nice sort of polished look. So that's definitely going to go there. Then let's see what else we've got. So we do have a couple of strips. Now these are a little short, but what we can do is, if we were to put a topper in the middle, we could chop that. Let me just come into frame here, sorry. We could chop that in half and then, yeah, kind of separate it a little bit. So we also have this one. So I'm just thinking, you know, it'd be nice just to use this up and kind of get on there as much as we can. So we could add that nice frame around there. And I do find with, when you see like the hunky-dory stuff being used, they do use quite a lot of it on the cards themselves. You know, they do have quite a lot that they I don't want to say pile on, but they do have a lot of stuff, yeah, that they do use. So we can have kind of our sentiment. So we've got the scent with love, be as bright as you can be. So we could like put that on the inside. We could pop that onto the back if we wanted to. And then we could add some, you know, dimension with these other pieces. I think I'm quite happy actually with how that is looking. We're going to use the 2 strips down here. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to go around and again cut off just all of these little tack bits just to polish it up a little bit. So if you have a strip that isn't going to reach all the way across, so you can see like we literally just at the tiniest bit short on that, then just cut it in half, or cut it, you know, in a point that works, and then just pop a topper or a sentiment over it, something just over it to kind of bridge that gap, and you'll find that you won't waste those little bits and pieces if you've got just, yeah, those like little scraps that you could use. This is a really great way to use it. I think I might just do the 2 strips there, to be honest. So let's just, again, we don't have to be precise here, but we're just going to cut it, let's add a little bit of glue, and so we're just going to pop it, you know, just slightly up. So I think we can pretty much use everything that we had left over in this kit, which would be absolutely brilliant, considering I've had this for quite a while now. Yeah, it's just nice to use up the bits that you've got. So I'm going to put that on there, and let's go with quite a bit of dimension on here. It's quite a dramatic card, so let's pop 2 little foam pieces on there. So we're going to get some real good dimension. So there is that section. So now we're going to add this frame up here. Again, just to kind of use up these elements. Then we've got our topper here, which I think we can fit a whole foam square on. And that is just going to sit really nicely in the centre there. So for our sentiments, let's pop that on afterwards. So let's get this down. So by keeping this together, this is going to stay, you know, really nice and sturdy. But I am wondering whether to back it actually in this pink colour, just so the back looks a little bit nicer. So I'm going to cut this to 3.5 by 7. I'm just going to go slightly under 7. And let's just make sure. So let's just bring it up. So it doesn't have to be the exact same size, and you're not going to see that bottom portion of it anyway, because it's going to be stuck onto the card, but it's just going to help strengthen it while it's stood up. To the back. So let's just try and get a nice little border on it. If you're going to see some white, we want it to be a nice kind of even border. Let's bring our card back, and then we're going to kind of, yeah, place it somewhere like that, so we know. So let's see. So we're going to go to about there. Oh no, actually we can go quite a bit higher than that. We want to make sure that we get a nice stick on this bit. And then, so I'm just looking at sort of the border we've got sort of at the top and bottom, make sure it's nice and straight. Make sure that's down nicely. So again, if you were to put this on a card just as it is, I would then be putting all these frames apart, and then I would be kind of stepping them up with foam, one direction or the other. But yeah, I think that looks really, really great, and just such an easy card to make. Yeah, I just, you know, these kits and things, you know, they're not for everybody, obviously, but I think, you know, if you want to make really quick and easy cards, I think these are perfect for that. So we want our, so I mean, we could probably do both of these sentiments. I mean, you know, it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna carefully pull up that. I'm just gonna bring it over, I think. Or should I go that way? No. So I'm going to come over as far as I can this way. And then we're going to have our Scent with Love. And let's do a thinner foam square. So I like to have different heights for foam squares or pads or circles, whatever you're using. Just so you can vary height. You can kind of double them up. But I think it's nice just to have that little variation in height. So we've got that one there. Let's do the same again. So have a fabulous birthday. And we're just going to sort of stagger it this way a little bit on that frame. And then let's pop this on the inside. So we have these pieces here. Let's just cut that at an angle. And you can't actually see. Let's just bring it in. So I'm thinking we could glue that there. But I'm actually wondering, do we want to add a second little piece in? So what's that, about 1/2 inch? Yeah, so let's do a 1/2 inch. Because I don't want to cut off the nice sort of decorative end there. So if you have strips and things that you want to use, have a look at putting them on the inside. And also you could look at putting it on the envelope as well. That would be quite nice. Just decorate your envelope with these pieces. And then we do have this last sentiment. So, you know, we're going big with this. It's showstopper card, really. So let's get our sentiment in there. So that's going to be our inside, and then this is our outside. So it's going to be kind of difficult to show you, but that's sort of what we're looking at. I think it makes a difference adding that bit of colour down in there, even if it doesn't match, you know, entirely. If I just try to kind of give you the full effect here. So it's sort of something, you know, along those lines. Obviously you've got that pink there as well on the back of this flamingo piece, but you're sort of looking at it and it's going to sit like that. So I think that's so beautiful. You know, it took no time basically at all, but what an absolute, like I said, showstopper card there, just from the size of it. You can easily make these, maybe not as big if you didn't want to go quite as big with this size, but yeah, I just think with that gold foil in as well, I think that is really, really beautiful. So there is card number 1. So these are literally the scraps that I've got left over from this kit, and to be honest, I am not going to be too precious with this. I'm actually going to put it in the bin. I could eventually probably find something to use this with. You might think it's a little wasteful, but you know, if I'm going to have it sat around, it doesn't necessarily match in with anything that I have, so there is an argument to be made as to why keep it. So we've got our next card, so let's take a look what we've got in here. So we might do a little bit of matte and layering for this, considering that we have got some patterned paper here. So we've got, we've still got tons of this. I want to say this was called Love Bug, something like that. I mean, I've got all of these strips. Now this cardstock is glossy, it's coat or maybe even a satin finish, but it is a glossy cardstock. But I've got all of these, you know, pieces. So potentially, let me just move these out of the way. So potentially we have got other cards that can be made with this. So we've got those, and then so we've got, that's a really cute paper, and then yeah, literally just lots of coloured paper here. So we've got a little bit of that. So let me just let me get myself organised here. So let's move that. Let's see what we've got here. So I think this is the leftover patterned papers. Yeah, isn't that so beautiful? I love that. And then so we've got, yeah, our patterned papers. We have got our plain paper. And I'm guessing, oh no, so this is, so we might be able to do something with the rest of this kit. I'm not sure. We'll see how much we actually get onto a card. So we've got a strip there. We've got, let me just move that card. So we've got a couple of gold frames. We do have a big topper here. It's obviously not as big as the other one was, but we've got tons of elements here, especially for you. Lots of love. So we've got a lot left over. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut down the mats and layers. So we're going to add plain cardstock to our card first of all, just to help kind of use that up a little bit. And then we will come back. I'll come back and we'll have a look, see what patterned paper that we have got. So this one was a little harder to do, just for the fact of having like full sheets of the size for the 8x8. So for example, this piece here doesn't actually, isn't long enough, but we're still going to use it anyway. And it's just kind of, again, using up what's left. We've got quite a lot of toppers, and we've still got some patterned paper and things left. So it might be that we've got enough maybe just to make another video, possibly, just using those bits up. So again, we're just going to glue all the mat and layers flat on here. So it's like this piece of patterned paper here, you know, you've got that design on the one side. You know, we can make it work, you just make it work really, as best you can. But yeah, it's sort of not ideal. You want it to be nice and even, but at the same time, whoever you're going to give it to isn't going to know that it should be even. So it's not being too precious. I know sometimes we want everything to be symmetrical and perfect and stuck down perfect, but you know, it is handmade. You work with what you've got. You know, you don't want to sort of waste anything. So somebody should just be happy that you made them a handmade card, rather than sort of like picking any issues out with it. But with these, if you did want to make your cardstock last a bit longer, so with these pieces, for example, you could cut the centre bit out of there, and then you're going to put this on top so you're not going to see it. So that is one way of saving on your cardstock. So let's pop this one down. So there is our patterned papers. Whoops. So this is like gloss onto sort of gloss paper really. So make sure you don't wiggle it around too much, in case it does move. So this, I'm just going to trim this piece down. Okay, so we've got that piece down. So now we can get into adding our toppers. So obviously we don't have anything quite as big as like we did with the flamingo, but that is okay. We've also got this one here which says let's celebrate. So we are gonna add that to the top here, like so. And then I think, yeah, so I'm going to put this one at the top, and again we're going to come in with some foam. So let's do a nice big foam piece, and I'm just going to line it up there with that side. And then we've got these lovely circle ones. So I figured we could stagger that a little bit, and then the only real sentiment we sort of had, which went, I would say that went with it, not that it has to, it can be whatever you want it to be, it's whatever you've got. We're just kind of using up our stash here, that's the important thing. So let's pop that one just there. Let's do a foam on there for this one. Again, we're just staggering the height. Yeah, I think it needs to go up there, but I actually feel like it would look really nice also just, you know, down there. I think I'm going to put it down there. That's where I feel like it looks the best. So that's what I'm going to do. Again, it's just all about using what you've got. I don't think I've got anything. No, they're more sort of like baby themed. So we're going to go with that. And then let's just, so we're not going to add a piece to the back of this because it's going to be a bit more hassle to trim it out. And we can go a little bit higher than that. And put that one just there like that. So really what we could have done, I guess, is we could have brought that down a little bit, but that's where it is, that's where it's staying. So again, we do have just a few bits and pieces. I don't want to use sort of too much of the toppers or anything like that, but we could, you know, just add I always think it looks nice just to kind of angle the end of that. So let's add this to the inside. Just to bring a little bit of decoration in there. And then that's how we're going to leave the inside of that. And then this is how. So we just sort of get it into place. So that's how this one is going to look. Again, it's just using up, you know, because we've got 4 toppers on there. Yeah, it's just nice to kind of use those bits and pieces up, and then obviously just having this strip there on the inside. And then so with that, I've still got literally all of these pieces left over, so this is going to go back in the bag with all the other bits. So I think we can definitely come back on and create a couple of cards, I reckon. You know, we could make smaller cards as well, but I think we've got quite a bit left. We might have to add in sentiments. I think that's the one thing that we'll have to add in to this. But yeah, I think we can definitely make some good cards from the rest of this kit. Okay, so let's make our next card. So it actually comes scored. You just need to fold your front bit down. So I'm going to go ahead and glue our mats and layers down, which includes then our patterned paper as well. Okay, so these are the elements that we're going to use on this card. So we're going to add quite a few. And I've tried to just take the pieces that I had left over from the previous sheet. So the only thing we've got is these 2 here, and then we do still have that whole sheet left over as well. So we definitely can get a couple more cards from that. So let's get these stuck down. So again, I'm going to keep this in its frame. So you can obviously level these up if you wanted to, you know, take these pieces out of the frames, you know, take it all apart and kind of do something interesting. You can do the whole foam tape thing with it as well. I'm just going really sort of simple cards here. So let's pop our sentiment down on a little bit of foam. Again, we want just that little touch of dimension on here. Obviously the dimension that you use will be kind of determined as to whether you're hand delivering this or not. So we had this frame and I thought, well, we could, so apologies there, my battery died. So we've got our frame stuck down there. We're gonna prop this guy up on some foam as well. And then, yeah, let's prop up our second sentiment as well. Just to add a bit more interest to it. So we've got sending llama love, and then we've got happy birthday. So there is that card. So again, let's just let this sort of stand up. You can see that little bit of yellow back there, but Again, you've got kind of the dimension from it being a big stepper card, but also then using the foam tape as well. You can, of course, add other elements. We could embellish this if we wanted to, but to be honest, for the time being, I'm just going to leave it like this. I really love this llama one. I realise now why I bought 2 of them, because I thought they were just really cute images there, and the colours I thought were really lovely, especially for a birthday. So that is going to be our 3 cards, using up some of these sets. So let me bring them back in. So with this one, the flamingo, obviously we used all of the pieces apart from that little bit of scrap we had left over. But this was great. We were able to use up the whole of that kit. And again, a big topper like this, I think is just perfect. If maybe you didn't have toppers and you wanted to kind of replicate this a little bit, what you could do is just take some patterned paper and then have like a panel on it. You could certainly recreate this quite easily, but of course you've got a big panel there for a big 8x8 card. So then we have this sort of love bug one here. So again, we have tons of elements left over for this, so we can certainly make a couple more, probably smaller cards, but we can definitely make those. Yeah, and just super cute with this imagery. I think the stuff we've got left over is more, I think more sort of baby themed, probably rather than a birthday. I've pretty much used most of the birthday pieces on this particular card. And then we of course have our llama love as well. So the one thing actually that we haven't done in this card, which we have done in the other 2, is added anything just to the inside. So I do have a little bit of this patterned paper. So let's just, because we've done it on all of the rest, let's add a little bit of our patterned paper in here. And again, adding little strips like this is a good way to use up any sort of strips and scraps that you have left over. And then we do have actually these 2 pieces here. So we could, maybe not the sentiment, but we could certainly add this to the inside. Maybe we could just pop it down there, or we could pop the sentiments just in there. I kind of feel like adding this to the inside, because again we want to use the kit up, and then we can add the sentiments to the front. So let's just glue, and I think rather than putting it in the middle, so we could pop it in the middle, but we're not going to have tons of space because I have put this quite high. So I think I'm just going to add this just there, like so. So that's going to finish the inside of that one. So let's just show you the insides of these. So this one literally just had that strip again, because we didn't really have anything that matched what we had on the front here. We could have added maybe like one of these to the inside, but we've just got the strip there for that one. And then in this one we had our sentiment, and again we used up a little bit of that patterned paper as well. So that are 3 cards. So I've used up the cards. I have got one left actually. We could have made a 4th card, you know, maybe using the llama love or using this one here. But I really wanted to just show you kind of creating 3 with these 3 different sets. If you are interested in kind of these topper packs that you can get, this is all from Hunky Dory. They are really good for packs like that. And if you're interested in their like member of the month sort of freebies that I got this for a couple of years ago, then do go on their website and yeah, take a look at their members section. It was free to join. I suspect it still is, so you can go over and see what you can get, what sort of bargains you can get over there. But yeah, it was just nice to kind of use up some of the stuff that I had left over, definitely. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, because it helps to support my channel and it helps to push my content out there a little bit more, just to help me to continue to grow. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And on screen now is going to be another video that I think you're interested in, so definitely go ahead and check that one out, and I will see you in that video. And thanks for watching, and happy crafting.